when you think of Independence Day, you think of rocking our colors at Grand Gala, but do our young people really know what we are celebrating? Independence Day goes way beyond going to Negril for the weekend or, you know, whatever other celebrations you get involved in. Talk of Youth Ambassadors, Jazeel Clark, Chelsea Wright, and Demoy Whiteley are here to drop some knowledge this morning. I'm very interested to hear what you young'uns have to say, being an old foot over here on this side. Good morning to you. Thank you for being here. Who was in Negril?
No, you wasn't there?
Nobody?
I wasn't there.
No,
Okay,
I wasn't there.
How did you guys celebrate?
I was in my bed.
Okay. How did you celebrate the long weekend, Demoy?
Well, my friend was having his birthday weekend celebration, so we were in Ochoas from Saturday. It came up, what, yesterday? Mystic Mountain, had dinner.
So you had some fun?
Yeah, man.
Chelsea?
I really just stayed at home with my family and just chilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chilling is so underrated.
I know.
I know.
Just chill.
I know. Jazeel, what did you do?
Actually, it was food and just family and friends and that kind of thing for the most part, you know.
Nobody thought about Sligo-villing it, going to a cultural affair?
Well,
or
actually,
any
today I plan to, you know, put on the face and really touch road.
I actually wanted to go to the I think it's called August Morning, that I think commemorates the day of emancipation.
Yes, correct.
And stuff. I wanted to go down there, but it was too far and stuff. But actually,
so you made it to Oche, but Sligoville is too far.
No, it was too far for that night.
No, I'm trying to make a broader point. So I'm trying to figure out how important it is for young people to get involved in some of those activities that commemorate things like emancipation, commemorate events like
quite frankly, I just think that the younger persons today, younger generation, they don't really know what it really is about. Whereas we might say, okay, yes, independence, it's a time for us to reflect on how far we've come as a nation and how we as youth can, you know, make our impact and how we can help Jamaica to move forward. But I think a lot of persons just know it as, okay, Independence Day, Grand Gala, we're going to dress up in our black, green, and gold. Yeah, or Negril weekend.
I think, as Chelsea said, I'm going to piggyback on it a bit. They don't know, and they don't understand the importance of it.
Why don't young people understand though? I mean, everything you need to find out about anything in the world is at your fingertips.
That's true. That's true.
So
but
is it that you just don't care to look? If you Google independence, you can, you know, find 3 paragraphs that can sum up something, give you some knowledge about what it is.
I don't think it's as important, I guess, to know, because I mean, they're thinking, okay, if I know what independence is about, how is this going to help me as a person? I feel.
Wow. How do you feel about it?
I think it's because, you know, reading is different from experiencing it. So if you might probably talk to somebody who is much older than us, who was alive during the time, you know, when Britain, you know, was in control of our legislations or stuff like that. Achieving independence to them might be the greatest thing ever. So because they would have lived that time, they would have, you know, understand and had that sense of pride when it comes to that weekend itself or that holiday time. Just as though when persons, you know, talk about 1998 World Cup in Jamaica, when, you know, was qualified and stuff. I don't have that experience as somebody else say, it was just the other day. You understand?
But doesn't it still excite you? I mean, we weren't there for slavery, but we know the historical
significance. Yeah. I mean, I want to firstly concur with Demoy and Brittany, because the truth is that there is somewhat some disconnection. But at the same time, it still does not negate the fact that, you know, you can't understand and value where you're coming from. You know, my mom passed on when I was at the age of 10. But at the same time, I grew up to value certain values and standards that she had. Standards that she put out there to ensure that guide her lifestyle and her living. And I let these very standards be my standards. Yes, because there are good standards, there are stuff to take note of, to literally try to replicate as you go through your lifestyle, just the same. And so I believe that, you know, we just indiscipline, we just lack value, we have to face it, you know, we can't perpetuate the hypocrisy that has been there. We have to understand at the end of the day, this is a rich heritage that we have.
Yeah.
And we have to take it up in our hands to understand that, listen, this is how far my foreparents are coming from 19 this to that. Yes, this is what we have as a result of what they fought for.
Correct.
It is my responsibility to ensure, so listen man, me cherish this in a one way that if they were here, they would have been proud.
Why do you
so
guys
that is
laugh?
what the problem is.
Is it that you don't see value? Here's my other question. I hear Jazeel very passionate. What do you guys learn in school about independence?
All right, that's the thing. All right, you see, when we're learning, when I was first introduced to properly to the whole concept of, you know, emancipation versus independence, I was in...
Do most young people even know the difference between those two?
That's the thing, I don't think so.
I think they do. I think they do.
Tracy, you don't think so?
I don't think so.
I don't think
because,
so.
Finish your
because I learned it at CSEC history when I was doing CSEC history, and half of my cohorts did not do CSEC history. So I'm saying this to say that we don't have a proper, well, formal thing teaching us. Or
we didn't learn about independence in primary and prep school?
I did.
Didn't we? You never learned about it in primary? Or you probably don't remember?
Probably.
I think probably what Chelsea was emancipation, the in-depth.
Well, it's just, well, not even just the in-depth, but just to get a great understanding and make it have some sort of value to you, so to speak. So if it's a case where I did learn it in prep school, it didn't really resonate until I reached that stage. So I believe that we should bring back civics in prep, primary and high school. I think civics will help. Will foster some sort of civic responsibility.
No, I think I'm just trying, but I can remember being taught about independence and emancipation from as early as 3K at my primary school.
Right.
Because we normally have Jamaica Day,
right.
the colors, and then each grade had to choose a national hero and stuff. So I, from that time, you know, I had that sense of patriotism. And just to answer your question, I do, well, I won't say participate because I don't participate, but I do attend the national events that have been, you know, on display since the starting of the, well, people branded Emancipendence holiday. You know, I've been attending. I can't wait to see Grand Gala later.
Okay.
And stuff like
You're going to go to Ghana?
Of course.
Excellent. Of course. Anybody else here looking forward to going to Ghana?
I'm actually looking forward. I should collect the tickets, you know.
Okay.
I probably just watch it.
You'll watch it on TV.
Yeah.
That's an every year thing for me.
Yeah. Does Jamaica feel like an independent nation to you guys?
I don't believe so.
Do we seem like somebody who's, you know, like a nation that's not dependent, that's kind of standing on our own, that adheres to our own values? That
it depends.
It
depends on how it's viewed.
All right, let me start with you, Jazeel.
Firstly, you know, if we were to look at the whole historical aspect of it, I think that there is more lacking than gaining, you know. I believe that we have some men and women in our country who they have distinguished themselves of what it really means to be independent. You know, my mother was an Igla, and she used to ensure that she was downtown at a particular time, working hard to ensure that at the end of the day, when it comes to weekend, she would be able to provide and to give and to do what she normally do. That was a responsibility that she owned up to. Yes, I believe that being independent is really, you know, by Huey, Irving, I live by have a motto there, and I think it epitomizes and reflects that same motto, which is know thyself. Being independent, you have to know yourself first. You have to be
Jamaican, do we know ourselves as Jamaicans? Chelsea, let me ask you. We have a minute left and I want to get them away.
I think, well, being Jamaica is different for everybody. I think so. And going back to what the question you asked before, do we see ourselves as an independent nation? I think it just depends on your perspective. While others going to say, oh, we're probably better off as a colony of Britain. We need to give ourselves some credit, right? And that's what independence and emancipation, the days are for me, is a time to reflect and say, hey, look how far we have come. We have a lot of rights that many other countries have fought longer and harder to get than we had. So I feel like it's just a time to be reflective, and it just depends on your perspective.
So, last word.
And for me, historically, I think we are independent. You know, just the mere fact that I can identify with whoever it is that is at Garden House or King's House, you know, that person was born and bred in Jamaica, not sent to us from England. That to me is independence.
The Queen is still our head of state. No?
That's another part of discussion.
Said
but
time.
Yeah, man. Economically, persons might think otherwise, and that's because you know our debt to GDP, our finances, we are still every dollar we spend.
We still,
service the debt and stuff like that. So persons might argue that economically we are not independent, and then because of that, you know, whichever foreign country is giving us grants or aids, we have to probably align ourselves with their mandate, whatever it is. So when you look at stuff like that, you might get a sense of dependency, but at the end of the day, we are still in control of our sovereignty.
Okay, so, so thank you very much, guys. Appreciate your input this morning. Good to talk to the young people and see what they're thinking. As a young person myself, I felt, who was clearing their throat? Prince, was that you? Shade on Independence Day?
She's young.
Wow.
Young. 16.
Thanks, young friend.
16.
Respect. Talk of Youth Ambassadors. Thank you, Empress Golding. Jazia Clark, Chelsea Wright, and Demoy Whiteley with these young people who are so brilliant. Thank you for your thoughts again. We're going to have a chat with the newly crowned festival queen on the other side of the break. Should be interesting to ask her some of the questions we just asked these young people a while ago. We'll be right back. Thank you, guys.
My queen, so supreme.